I will find my screen share. We're talking about the premium sites. And I thought not only will I go over the premium sites that are only available at the Family History Center, but I'll go over the premium sites that we can get for free because we're members of the church. So I'm hoping we'll have time for all of that. So let me see if I can remember. Now, before we get started, right here in the wiki, there's the Family History Center portal. So if you don't remember these places that I talk about, they're all listed right here. Some of them are the free sites you can get because you're a member of the church, but some of them aren't. But if you ever want to remember what the list is, it's right here, just Family History Center portal on the wiki. Okay, so we're going to start one by one. The first one is what I haven't heard before, the 19th century British Library newspaper. And this is, right here. Nope. There was a problem processing your request. Okay, anyways, it was right there. And it provides a complete run of 48 national and regional Victorian British newspapers from 1800 to 1900. That's a lot of newspapers because Britain is not that big. So if you want to check on an ancestor that may be from Britain, you could maybe check out this website for newspapers. The next one is Alexander Street. Some of these I haven't heard of before. And so the Alexander Street has the American Civil War Research Database. And this contains searchable information on over 4 million soldiers, thousands of battles, together with 15,000 photographs. They have letters, diaries, images, women and social movements in the United States. They have letters and diaries for that. So that's kind of an interesting website. Archive Digital. Does anybody have Swedish ancestors? Raise your hand if you have Swedish ancestors. Oh, good, Helen. Now, the church and Ancestry does have a good database for Sweden, but Archive Digital is pretty all-encompassing, and our researcher that does Swedish research uses this exclusively because it has such an amazing search engine. For example, you can go to their image database and they have really good, clear images. And here's all the counties right here, like Kalmar is one of mine. And you can go and check on church records, state inventories. Of course, it's all in Swedish. But a lot of times if you can pick out keywords, you can figure it out. But they have it's an excellent, all-encompassing and even a broader age or time frame also for records. And that is expensive if you can't have it for free, but it's free at the Family History Center. FamilyNet, this must be something fairly new. It's for those who have New Zealand roots. So where Kiwis find their family and tell their stories. So there's a New Zealand site. Fold 3, I want to show you a little bit more about Fold 3, because this is something most of us, or all of us, will probably need at some point or other, because we all have ancestors who've been in some war or another. So I thought I'd just do a quick search here and show you kind of how it works. So I have an ancestor that I know fought in the Civil War. His name is Jesse Smith. Now I'm going to show you how you can find Jesse Smith being a common name on this website. So I first did a search for Jesse Smith, and you can see there's over 120,000 results. Well, that's a lot, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick over here the U.S. Civil War, the Union Civil War, because I know he fought for the North. Then I'm going to come down here. I'll pick the United States of America. Now we're down to 6,000. Now I'm going to come down to, I'll put Army, put U.S. Army. I'll put Union Army. Well, I'm trying to unclick these. And get Union Army. Okay. Now, I'm still have 342. So actually what I can do now is it says add a place. Well, I know he lived in West Virginia. So I can scroll until I find West Virginia. And there's only 2. I add that place and voila, there he is, Jesse M. Smith. And I know that's him because it's Jesse Miracle Smith. And I know it's him because I already have the record. But look at this cool record I can look at. I don't know if I can make it bigger here. Where's the bigger thing? I can't find the bigger
side.
Bigger button. You see it on the right side? So he's in the West Virginia Cavalry, private, a corporal. I can turn the page. Oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. It tells me different things, like in August 1862, he was absent, prisoner of war, captured by the enemy at Winchester, Virginia. July and August 1869, he was absent, July 23rd, 64 in Hagerstown, Maryland, something camp. Anyways, you get a lot of these little different pieces of information about his service during the Civil War. Here's a muster roll in the hospital, and I do know that he lost his thumb during the war. So just to give you an idea that even if you have a common name, you can narrow it down and find your ancestor. They even have just these general searches. Let me just click all this out. For example, I put in Steinbeagle. That's my maiden name. Oops. That's not a very common name. So this Fold 3 used to started as a military site. Now it has a lot of other things. So we have my grandpa, World War II draft registration. This is my great grandfather, Civil War pensions index, although he wasn't in the Civil War, but he was in the, let me just type in Joseph Steinbeagle. He was actually in the Spanish-American War. He's an immigrant, and I think that was his way of getting citizenship. So here's his pension payment card, Spanish-American War. This is an index. So this is a kind of a great place to look for either the possibility of a record or a record itself. The Civil War has records. A lot of them have indexes. And if you do find them in an index, if the National Archives is open now, we have somebody that you could contact to look up that record for you. He's really inexpensive and fast, but it's been closed because of COVID for quite a while. So Fold 3 is a great place for military records. It really is probably the best place that you can go to find military records. Okay, the next one is newspapers.com. And obituaries is one of the best sources for family history, especially when you're trying to find descendants, living descendants, you're trying to find anything. You never know what's going to be in an obituary. My great-grandfather, Thomas Hallam's obituary, told me where he came from in England. And prior to that time, I did not know where he came from in England. And it named the little village that he came from. And it named a sister that I didn't know about. So obituaries are always wonderful things to get. But just for fun, you could type in your own name. So let's see if something comes up for me. There I am, right there. Diane Steinbeagle. I'm getting married. That's in the days when you put everything in the newspaper. Here's my picture. So let's put in one of your names. Who's brave, wants to put in a name? Helen, let me put your name in.
Yeah, you can put in Helen Davis.
Helen Davis. And we can actually add more information. Where were you living when you were younger? In Utah? Where were you living when you were young?
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake? And we could even give a range here. We could put like 1960 to 1990, let's say. Whoop. Is that you, Miss Helen Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, were you is that you?
No,
That's a different Helen
that's
Davis.
fun. There's another one. So I left Salt Lake in 65.
Okay.
So I was there from 55 to 65.
Oh, 55 to 65. Okay. Oh, it's bringing up the same one. I guess this Helen Davidson married Jay Black is popular. But if you want to look for an ancestor for an obituary, this is a wonderful place to look for obituaries. Let's see if I can find, I should have checked ahead of time to see if Thomas Hallam is in here. I know he died in Pennsylvania. I can't remember when. So I'd have to narrow it down with a year. But this, oh, this is him right here. No, this is his son. The son of John. Oh, actually, this is his grandson. This is Thomas Hallam, the son of my grandmother. This is my grandmother's nephew. But look at it. Look at everything he tells you. His wife, their children. Obituaries are wonderful. But you can also get other wonderful things. When I've done research for people that want more history, I'll type their ancestors in here and I'll get sometimes these glowing wedding things that are a full page, half a page with their picture and everything on it. So you can actually gather a lot of history from newspapers. Newspapers.com is a very easy website to use. Then the other ones, Paper Trail provides you access to 19th century westward American migration. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. And then the last two that they have are these Pozilla and Kinpoint. These are both different websites to help you to find what needs to be worked on, especially if you're trying to find descendants and who might need temple work. So those are our websites to help you with that. Okay, so that's what's available at the Family History Center only. Otherwise, you'd have to pay for these. All right, so let's go to now the free sites that you get because you're a member of the church. All right. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're supposed to be 6. What? I'm missing one. First, let me show you how to get to these websites. Go to familysearch.org and sign in. Click on the little question mark. Click on Help Center. Now it's not right here. You have to click on View All, where it says Family Search Partners, because these are the ones that we partner with. And right here it says Partner Access. And there's 6. So somehow I missed one. There's Genealogy, Filet, American Ancestors, Find My Past. Oh, My Heritage, somehow I lost it. So we'll get to that though. All you have to do is that if you're already logged into Family Search, you just click on one of these, join for free, and it automatically knows you're a member of the church because you signed in through your LDS account. So it will already know you're a member, and then you just have to follow their steps and give them a username and password, and you're set. So here's one of them, Filet or Ginny-a-net. Ginny-a-net says that they have English parish records, directory, census, civil registration, surname mapping, and selected Army and Navy lists. So it's just kind of like right here, search their database. They have Genealogy Society indexes. They have different projects. I think these projects are kind of cool. I looked at their postcards and I typed in a couple of places and didn't come up with anything. But then I thought, well, I'm just going to type in like Illinois. Like I typed in Illinois and it came up with 32 pictures of things in Illinois. So you never know with their postcards. So other projects they have are heraldry, war memorials. I mean, if you think that you have an ancestor that might be on a memorial plaque or something, you could search for them there. So it's kind of has a few different things that you're not used to seeing. Now, Filet.com is mainly French records. And my understanding is that My Heritage has acquired either the whole company or I read 90% of it. They're increasing their database in a huge way because of acquiring this, because Filet has so many French records. So if you have French ancestors, you're going to want to check out this website or My Heritage or My Heritage because they've acquired their information. American Ancestors. This is mainly for the New England Historic Genealogical Society backs this up. The one thing I found interesting in it was that they have the Great Migration Study Project. That is an awesome project because there's these books. Actually, I have one of them here. My boss gave me the whole group of them to look for his wife's ancestors in them. But you can look them up in the indexes here. You can go to search database, type in your ancestor's name. I could type in Michael Metcalf and do a search. And it tells me right here, Great Migration Immigrants to New England these years in this volume 5, M through P, that I can find him on page 311. And so if you have an ancestor that came up in those very early years, then you might be able to find them on here and find a little biography about them. But they have other things too on American Ancestors. A lot of it has to do with New England and the earlier years of our country. So it's a good website if you're trying to find out information about your earlier ancestors. This is Find My Past. Find My Past basically started out as an English website, and that's what it predominantly is. When my boss often will want me to go look for marriage records. So he sends me here and I go to search all records trying to find different marriages in England. So they have a lot of the parish records here, but they have also newspapers and periodicals. So that's going to be helpful. My guess is that when the England censuses are on the ones, and they're only up through 1911 at this point, where we're up through 1940. Their 1921 census comes out in January. I'm guessing that it's going to be put here. I can't say that for sure, but that would be my guess, that it would be available first on Find My Past, unless Ancestry happens to beat them to it. But that's going to be helpful for picking up, families that we previously haven't been able to find after 1911, except for their 1939 pre-war census. So Find My Past is helpful, especially if you have English ancestors trying to find marriages, births, or whatever, because they have a huge indexing system. Let me go to My Heritage. I lost that somehow. Now, My Heritage is, it tells me I have a data breach with that. Someday I'll change my password. Oh, they're not going to let me. Oh, they did let me in. Okay. One of the new things that My Heritage has is their photos, where you can colorize photos, enhance photos, animate photos. I think we've talked about that before, but that's one of their sites that they're unique for, that the others don't have. So this is a pretty fun place where you can actually go in here and download your photos, which you can see that I've downloaded mine here, and I can actually choose one of them, and I could decide, do I want to enhance it? Do I want to colorize it? Do I want to animate it? Let's see if we can animate it here. It's kind of spooky, but it's kind of cool too. So you could have a lot of fun with that. My Heritage is just growing every day. They have a good DNA basis now, database, not quite as large as Ancestry, but it's coming along. Now their research, I'll move you guys over here again. You can go to their, I'm sorry.
Something about My Heritage. I've done some searches on My Heritage, and weeks or months later, if something new has been input on My Heritage about that name, they will email me and tell me something new has popped up.
Yep, that's true. They are really good with that.
That's really cool.
They're becoming quite a rival of Ancestry and some of the other places. Let me just show you a little bit how to use this. You can go to their collection catalog if you have a particular country that you're interested in. And over here, they have their different categories. But if you're interested in a particular country, you can come down here. For example, here's Europe. And then I can look down here. I can even narrow it down by years. But if I want to do a country in Europe, I can click Refine Further. And I can look at these records they have for Armenia, Austria, Belarus, Belgium, Denmark. I use this a lot for Denmark. I do not do Danish research. I'm not a Danish researcher. But when I've been looking for descendants for my clients, I use My Heritage because I like the way their search engine works. And those latest censuses, I go by birth dates. So I can find people with their birth dates and figure out who their spouses are and their children are. And so I really like the way it works. So if I click Denmark, you can actually see here they have these church records and images, but they have indexed these censuses here. Look, they'll go up through 1940, 1930, 25, 21, 1916. They come pretty close together here. And these censuses after 1901 are really detailed. And so you can pretty much tell which is your ancestor.
Diane,
Yes.
it's Helen. I have a question. Should I save it for the end?
Oh, go ahead.
So there's somebody in our ward that is heritage is in Thailand. is it part of my heritage, or do you know
Let's
where?
look. Let's look. That's a good question. So let's go back to, let me arrow back here. Let's just see if that would be Asia, probably, right?
Right.
Oh, here we go. There's Thailand. One. Bangkok and Siam directory. Now, what I would do for Thailand is I would go to the family search catalog and just, if they know the town that they're from, to look that up. So let's just do that real quick. We'll just take a little break here for a second. Family search, catalog. And you probably don't know the name of the town, but I can just click on Thailand. See, it says places within Thailand. And if this is one of their main areas, they could click on it and see what records are available for that place. I'm not sure how much they've microfilmed in Thailand. The other thing that you can do besides the catalog is go to search and go to images. And images, you could type in the place here and just see if there's something, because sometimes they have things here that for some reason, I don't know why they're not in the catalog, or they're digitized, but they haven't been listed there yet. So those are the two places I would search to see if there's records online for Thailand. But see, that's a good question. Who would think that there would even be anything at all for Thailand on MyHeritage? So I use it for Denmark. For Sweden, they have a lot of good Swedish records here too. You could look and see. Now they have French because they got Filet, that company. And they have trees too. So they have some trees as well. So it's a up and coming, real big up and coming website. And then I say for last, my favorite, ancestry.com. It's my staple for everything. So, and I've done this before, but I'll just give you a really quick tour. Here's their homepage, just shows you my tree, and my DNA matches with a little census down here that gets me there faster. This trees does not mean they're public member trees. These are just trees that I have permission to edit or to view. That's my tree. So if you want to look at the trees, and probably you're already all familiar with this. If I want to look at a detailed view, I just click on somebody here. I'll click on my great grandmother, Elizabeth. So I can see a detailed view. Here she is with her parents, her husband, and all of her children. And then they still have 11 hints that I haven't even looked at yet that may tell me something about Elizabeth. Here's somebody that has a website with a photo. Looks like they probably got it from me because that's my photo. Oh, submitted by M. Steinbeagle. Oh, that's my brother. Here's the 1940 census. These are all just different things I can attach to her. Go back to facts to get back. Here's the gallery if you want to add photos, if you want to add different records. It's kind of like Family Search. You can add all kinds of memories in here if you want to as well. Then here, if I want to see her family, I click on her dad. And it takes me to her dad, her mom, and their children. And I think I've told you this story probably so many times before, but I'm going to tell you it again, that put your tree on Ancestry, because you just don't know who you're going to help or how you're going to be helped. There have at least two major things that happened to me. One was the day after Christmas, I decided to work on to give myself a gift for Christmas. So I worked on my family history and decided to work on this family here, the Wallworks and the Galleys. So I went and thought, well, what do I tell everybody to do? I always tell people to go look at the trees first and see if anything's out there. So I started looking at trees, and lo and behold, there was a photo on there. It was the exact same photo that my grandmother had given me. The photo I had only had said the horse fields, nothing else except that they were from Durham County, England. I didn't know who the horse fields were. Well, guess what? This lady did, because she was related to them. And so if she had not put her tree on there, I wouldn't have found that. And that day, I think I had 300 names that I was able to get typed in and submitted because she had done so much on my family. The other story was because my tree was there. A man in Germany found me and sent me an email and said, if you send me all your descendants of Caspar Coonreich, I'll send you all of his ancestors back to 1500. And because he was working on a book. This is the book of all the descendants of this ancestor from 1500. I've been working and submitting them. I'm back to here. So every day when I work on this a little bit, I submit at least 5 names. So put a tree on Ancestry. You just never know what's going to happen if you do that. So here's search for Ancestry. You can do all collections, just a general search. You can search by census. And just so you all know, we came up with a title for our theme for next year. Next year it comes out the 1950 census, and we'll be massively indexing that come April, May, whenever the church decides. Also, like I mentioned earlier, the 1921 English census is coming out. So our theme for next year is coming to our census. So next year we're going to do a lot of census, teaching you how to use the census. And honestly, when you're in the 1800s, it is the backbone of your research because it helps you know where people were when, who their children were, or who was living with them, who was living near them. It really is the backbone. And it's the main thing, first thing to learn how to use when you're doing research. So we're going to focus a lot on that and on indexing so that we can be a major part of that 1950 indexing that's coming. And I don't know if the church is going to do the 1921 for England too, but that would be cool if we could be a part of that as well. But here you can see the census. We have the US, United Kingdom, Canada, but they also have other censuses. They have Australia, they have the Indian census rolls, which at some point, Helen Boleen is going to be teaching a bonfire class on Native American research with a couple of her friends, and she will talk about this as well. These are awesome census rolls. But there's others also, and you can go to the catalog, which is right here, type in your country and just see if there's a census for that country. In fact, let's just segue really quick here to the card catalog. And it's kind of like MyHeritage. You see how they have the countries right here. Let's see if there is a census for Mexico. So I could type that in. I clicked Mexico, and you can see right here it says census and voter lists. So I can type that, and here's the 1930 Mexico National Census. So you can see if there's a census for your family, for your country, just by coming to the catalog. While we're at the catalog, like I said, it's just like MyHeritage. You can go to your country and you can just see if there's something that happens to be with your country. Europe, I click Europe. We've got all the different countries. Let's see if Thailand would be Asia, right? Let's go to Asia. Oh, that's because I clicked that. I need to go back. Went back too far. Okay. Click Asia. Let's just see if they have Thailand here. No, MyHeritage is the only one that had Thailand. They got Sri Lanka, South Korea, Russia, Philippines, North Korea, Japan, and India. Okay. So that was the census with a segue over to the catalog. This birth, marriage, and death. If you just want to look for a birth or a marriage or a death, you can really use these features right here because if you know an exact date, in fact, I tried really desperately to find a person the other day because they had their birth date. So I just typed the exact birth date that was given me with just a first name to see if I could find them. So you can be real creative in searches here if you're trying to find somebody and you do know their death date or their birth date or their marriage date, but you may not be sure of a maiden name or something like that. Immigration, they probably have one of the best collections or best search engines of passenger lists, although the Steve Morse, that's STEVEMORSE website, has immigration records also, passenger lists. But I use this a lot because, again, I like the way their search engine works. I can do an arrival with a plus or minus, a departure with a plus or minus. I can soundex their names, whatever I need to do, and be real creative when I'm trying to find them on a ship passenger list or a naturalization record or a border crossing. We've got border crossing records for Canada and Mexico. And that's just not for the US. I found people on the Australia passenger list when I've been trying to find people going to Australia. The Hamburg passenger lists are amazing. If you have people who came from Germany, you want to hope that they came through the port of Hamburg, because these passenger lists tell you where they last lived. So it helps you when you're trying to determine where they came from. Military records. You know, we did Fold 3 for that, but Ancestry also has a good index for those. They don't have, a lot of times they don't have the actual records. They do have some of the applications, you know, like the DAR, they'll have those records on here, and they do have some records on here. So it's always worth a try to go here and look for military. And also, if you find them here, then you can go to Fold 3 and see if there's a record there. So it's kind of maybe an easy way to do a search also. And then finally, we did public member trees. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's my favorite site next to Family Search because of the way it's set up and the way it works with their hints. MyHeritage is a wonderful site, and they do have hints in MyHeritage. It's just not as easy to see as they are on Ancestry, but they do. You'll get to a record and it will actually help you. It'll have little mention, oh, if you're interested in this, you may be interested in this type of thing. So that's helpful. So that is a very, very fast and furious overview of the premium sites. Just to review again, the premium sites let me move you guys again. How do I move you? Let me move you over this way. And the premium sites, we've got these that will help you, Quillzilla and Kinpoint, which may help you to find where you can find descendants, or watch one of my classes on that, or talk to me about that. We've got the Civil War at Alexander Street, Archive Digital. Don't forget, you've got to use that if you're using Sweden. If you have any New Zealand, this is family.net, Fold 3 for military, newspapers.com, and the Paper Trail. Those are the premium sites that are available only at the Family History Center and will cost you a lot of money if you don't access them there. And then just to review again, the free sites that you can get from Partner Access, GeniaNet, Belay, American Ancestors for Early American, Find My Past for a lot of English records, MyHeritage, which has almost everything like Ancestry does, and then Ancestry. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. Do you have questions? I will see if there's any questions before I close out my screen.
Show us again how you get from Family Search to the partner site.
Okay, let me do that again. Okay, I logged in to Family Search. Now this question mark, always think a question mark is because you have a question. You want to know where something is. So you click the question mark. Then you want help. So you're asking a question and you want help. So you click the Help Center. They have search by topic. And it's like, well, my topic isn't here. It's like, oh, maybe I should click View All. So you click View All. And these are the hardest thing to remember is that it's called Family Search Partners. But it helps if you remember that we're partnering with people because we give them stuff, they give us things for free. So you click Family Search Partners, and then the very top thing here is called Partner Access because you're getting access to those partner sites. So you click that, and here they are.
Boy, that's embedded.
I'm sorry?
That's embedded.
So I haven't joined Filet yet. I can show you how that works. You qualify for a free Filet account. Continue for your free Filet account. Filet would like to know my basic family search information. Accept. See, because I'm already logged into Family Search, it knows I'm a member of the church. And so I already have an account. I'm not a male, I'm a female. And I'm going to use a password. I don't know what password I'll use, but I'll probably just stop right now because I need to think. It takes me too long to think of a password. So, but you can see how easy it is if you're already logged into your Family Search account and you go this way to get into them. And this is really good to know because members in your ward, if you're helping or you want to help somebody else, to help them get linked up with something that might be good for them. For example, what if they are from New Zealand? Or what if they do have French ancestors or English ancestors or ancestry for sure, you know, get them into because ancestry can just be fun even if you're not doing a search. I can type in, like I've done this before, I just type in my dad's name and oh, I know why they didn't like it because I made it sound X. So I can make it exact. I'm just doing a general search for my dad and see, I'm just show you how fun it can be. It shows me, here's his marriage, World War II draft card, 1940 census, birth, find a grave, school yearbook. His picture is actually here in the school yearbook right there. So ancestry is not even just for research, it could be for historical information that you may want to find, especially on your family that's not that old. Well, my dad's old, but he's gone. But I mean, people just in the 1900s. So any other questions? Okay, I'll see if I can make us big. I'll stop share. Oh, there we are.
Have you used the migration part of American Ancestors?
I haven't. Tell us about it.
I haven't. That's something new I haven't seen that
Oh, you mean the Great Migration that I mentioned? Oh yeah, the
Uh-huh.
Great Migration. Did you see me use that as an example? My ancestor. The Great Migration. Let me share screen again here. Where is it? Here.
There.
Okay, right here, the Great Migration, right here. It's under search, and it's down here, the Great Migration Study Project. And so that's where you can do a search your database and type your ancestor's name in. And mine was Michael Metcalf. Or I could do Jonathan Fairbanks and do a search, and it will tell you what book they're found in and what page. Now, when I tried to view the image, it told me I have to pay more. But if you go on there and you get a page number, you tell me, because right now in my house, I have those because my boss is making me, no, has not making me. He has given me a project to work on to find these ancestors of his wife. So right now, for probably another month, I have all the Great Migration books in my house. So if I were you and you want to go look for your ancestors right now, do it. And then send me an email and tell me what page and I'll make a copy and send it to you.
So migration meaning across the ocean to the United States?
Oh yes, I'm sorry, I should explain. The Great Migration has to do with the early pilgrims. The first group of pilgrims, 1620, and then the second wave that came after the 1630s. So there's two sets of books. There's, let me show you. Here's the Great Migration begins. Immigrants to New England, 1620 to 1633. There's several volumes of that. And then there's the Great Migration, which is the immigrants to New England, 1634 to 1635. So it's that second wave that came through. But they have biographies. It's cool. So then they have more with New England on their website as well. Is that okay?
Yes, I think, Alice, I think that's one where you ought to look at it. But they don't call your family history center a family history center anymore.
They even took our computers out.
And your printers?
Everything's gone but a monitor.
What?
Well,
This is a
They hadn't-
small,
they
a
hadn't-
small ward in a small community in
it's a
Oregon.
branch. It's a
Oh.
branch.
Oh, I thought you'd been, okay.
No up and for us. We're still a branch. But they took everything out, which was okay because they hadn't upgraded for a very, very, very long time.
Diane, that's kind of what's going with our room too.
And Helen, where are you at?
I'm in the Edgemont stake and the 6th ward had a family history room and the computers are all so old that they aren't,
Yeah, we got an email saying that if they're a certain computer, they're not going to support them anymore. So
right.
that's probably
We'll come down to ours. We'll welcome you at our center.
That's what I keep telling everybody.
Alice, come down to ours. We'll welcome you here.
easy access. You park and it's like 10 steps.
After the couple of 100 miles they get there.
Yeah, for you, Alice. Yeah. So
A
that's
different topic. Elsie, I'm going to come see you tomorrow while you're at work and visit with you. So I'll see you tomorrow about noon, sometime between noon and 1.
at the Family History Center.
Yeah, at the Family History Center.